What if I told you that for less than $40, you can have a security camera that detects people, follows them automatically, alerts your phone in real time, and on top of that has image quality that will leave you speechless? Today, I tested the IMOU Ranger Mini, and I'm going to tell you straight up if it's really worth it in 2026 or not. Well, the first thing I want to tell you is that IMOU is a brand of Dahua, and if you don't know who Dahua is, they're one of the two largest companies in the world in security and video surveillance. The other one is Hikvision. So we're not talking about just any brand that appeared out of nowhere. We're talking about serious technology with real backing. Now, when the Ranger Mini box arrived, the first thing I noticed is that the packaging is quite careful. None of those boxes that arrived crushed where everything is just floating around. Here, everything is well protected, well organized. Inside the box, you find the camera, a 5-volt 1-amp power adapter, a good length USB Type-C cable, the screws, and the installation plate to mount it, and the user manual, which is quite complete with a QR code included to guide you through the installation. Now let's talk about the physical design, because the Ranger Mini has something that makes it different from the typical indoor cameras that look like a white egg placed on a desk. This one has a more robust, more structured design with an integrated bracket that allows you to mount it on a wall, on a ceiling, or simply put it on a table without the need for additional accessories. The camera is small, compact, weighs barely 200 grams, and has a finish that looks premium for its price. On the back, it has two ports, the USB Type-C for power and a 100 megabits per second RJ45 network port, in case you want to connect it by cable instead of Wi-Fi. Not every camera at this price has that, and for those looking for a more stable connection, that detail is worth its weight in gold. And right in the lens area, if you slide it a bit, you find the slot for the micro SD card and the reset button. Look, if you've made it this far, it's because this camera caught your attention, and for good reason. The link is in the description. Okay, let's talk about the installation, because I know that for many, this is the moment of truth. The first thing you have to do is download the IMOU Life app, available for both Android and iOS. Once inside, you hit the plus symbol to add a new device, select the option to scan the QR code, and point it directly at the camera. That's how simple the process starts. Now there's an important detail that I want you to keep very much in mind. The Ranger Mini works with 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. That's the most common error I see in comments from people saying the camera won't connect. And it's almost always because of that. Once the app detects the camera, you give it your Wi-Fi credentials, wait a moment while it syncs with the network in the IMOU cloud, and that's it. The camera is active. Inside the app, the experience is quite intuitive. On the main screen, you have the live view, which is the real-time transmission of what the camera is seeing. From there, you can control the lens direction wherever you want. Left, right, up, down, all from your phone. And the movement is smooth. It's not that jerky and noisy movement that some cheap cameras have. You also have direct access to the event history, where all notifications appear with a thumbnail of the exact moment motion was detected. What I really liked is that on the playback timeline, moments with activity appear marked in color, so you don't have to go through hours of footage to find what you're looking for. That's a usability detail that was very much appreciated. And if at any point you need to restart the camera, you can do it directly from the app without having to get up to find it physically. Small detail, but in practice, it's very convenient. Okay, we've reached the part that everyone cares about most when looking for a security camera. How does what it records actually look? The IMOU Ranger Mini comes in two versions. The base model is 3 megapixels with 2K resolution, and the higher end model is 5 megapixels with 3K resolution. The price difference between the two is barely $10. So honestly, if you're gonna buy it, I'd go straight for the 5 megapixel one. It doesn't make much sense to stick with the lower one when the difference is so small. And the image? Look, I'm telling you without exaggeration, for the price of this camera, the visual quality is surprising. The detail is sharp, colors look natural in good light, and the 3.6mm lens viewing angle gives you wide coverage without that exaggerated fisheye distortion that ruins the image on other cameras. Now, let's talk about night vision. The Ranger Mini has 4 night vision modes, and that's something that genuinely impressed me. The first is Smart Mode, where the camera records in black and white by default, but the moment it detects motion, it automatically activates the white spotlights and the image turns to color. The second is full color mode, where the spotlights are on all the time and the recording is always in color. The third is infrared mode, classic black and white image without spotlights. And the fourth simply turns everything off. It also has activatable HDR, which is basically the anti-backlight function. The digital zoom goes up to 8 times, the frame rate is up to 20 frames per second, and the night vision reaches up to 10 meters away. For an indoor space, that covers practically any room with plenty of room to spare. Let's start with the feature that caught my attention the most: human detection. The camera doesn't just detect generic motion, but specifically distinguishes if what moved is a person. Related to that is smart tracking. When the camera detects a person, it automatically follows them with the motor's movement. It doesn't matter if the person walks from one side of the room to the other, the camera keeps rotating to keep them always in the center of the frame. Then there's the abnormal sound alarm, which is a feature that few cameras at this price point have. The Ranger Mini is constantly listening, and if it detects an unusual sound, like glass breaking, someone screaming, or a loud bang, it sends you a notification instantly. It also has a built-in siren. From the app, with just one tap, you can trigger a loud alarm on the camera, perfect for scaring off anyone who shouldn't be there. And to complement that, there's the spotlight, a white light you can turn on manually or set to activate automatically when night motion is detected. And finally, something I think is very well thought out: privacy mode. It's not just a pause in recording, it's an actual physical lens block. Well, we've reached the part 1 promised from the start, because here's a detail I genuinely haven't seen before in any camera in this price range. And for me, it really changes the game when deciding whether to buy it or not. But first, the basics. The Ranger Mini has 3 storage options. The first is the micro SD card with support for up to 512 gigabytes. The second option is cloud storage through IMOU Protect. They have a monthly and an annual plan. And as a bonus, all new users get a 30-day free trial. Heads up on this: cloud storage only records when motion is detected, not continuously. So if you want 24/7 recording, the micro SD is your best friend. The third option is connecting it to an NVR. You can integrate it with practically any network video recorder you have, regardless of the brand. Now, for the detail I promised that no one mentions, the storage-saving recording mode. The Ranger Mini has a mode where if it doesn't detect any motion, it automatically drops to 1 frame per second instead of the usual 20 FPS. When it detects activity, it switches back to full quality instantly. The practical result is that with the same memory card, you can have double or even triple the days recorded. For less than $40, you can have your home monitored. The link is in the description. Check it out and take your time to decide. Well, we've reached the moment everyone's been waiting for. Is that IMOU Ranger Mini worth it in 2026, or are there better options for the same money? What I like most about this camera is the ratio between its cost and what it offers. We're talking about $30 for the 3 megapixel model and about $40 for the 5 megapixel one. Who do I recommend this camera to? To anyone who wants to watch their home, business, pet, or kids without spending a fortune, without dealing with difficult installations, and without sacrificing image quality or smart features. It's a serious camera from a serious brand at a price that has no real competition in this segment. My final score for the IMOU Ranger Mini? An 8.5 out of 10. I'm only taking points off for the subscription dependency for cloud storage and the 2.4 gigahertz limit on the base models. And that's all.